I have important duties I must fulfill, as do you. In 4 days, I expect you to be strong enough for a round with a ground-level planetary threat. I've taught you the basic techniques and tactics to the point where you should seek out more knowledge from other masters. It isn't good that you merely copy my style. You need to develop your own unique fighting style. CPB has knowledge of influence, but I would take a trip to the library to understand what influence is first. He'll expect you to know at least what it is before he explains how you'll use it. Oh, and one more thing. If I ever catch you doing drugs again, I'll discipline you myself. Is that understood?
Thou shalt not die. It's a weird book, made by someone who died nearly an infinite number of times. There's no author name, because in the end he couldn't remember what his real name was. Yes, it is. I like the collection here. Those two. Oh, that looks good on you. Green brings out your eyes. How do you like it? I sewed it myself. Thank you. You're a weird, Al. The meaning of life is to live. To live until your final breath. To live through the good times, and to live through the bad times. To experience all that life has to offer, and when your final journey comes, to accept it with grace, and to find peace, knowing you lived life to the fullest. So why are you here? Oh. So he wants you to become a servant of death. Did he even ask you what you wanted? Following orders is good, but I think you want to do something else with your life. You're cute, sure, but you're too young. You're only 16, but maybe in a couple more years. I prefer taller men. If you're here for influence, Hyde should be around here somewhere.
What the hell are you doing, huh? Al, what are you doing here with Nora? Have you? Well, I contain just one book of it for safekeeping in my memory logs. We don't dare keep more than one at all times in the fears that the wrong hands get it. Servants, agents, and those above have knowledge of such a thing. It is far too risky to talk about it or leave information on it. Well, anyway. Influence. What is it? In this section of all reality, we have the source of all power, influence. Do not mistake it for a physical thing. Reality has no master, and yet influence exists all around us. Most of us cannot sense it. You have to know it to sense it. And to obtain it, you have to experience it. Someone who's never felt it cannot obtain it. It's like a state of thinking connected to an impossible infinite web, and once you find yourself tangled in it, the power swells within you, unless you deny it. Influence can only be used when you know what it is and find a web or location within reality that it is present in. It has no shelf life, but once used it cannot be used again. You can have a large number of influence, but that much invites danger. To protect your mind, you must build a wall that surrounds it. When you take it in like anything valuable, you hide it. You can stash it, hide it in your core, or give it away. Some see or sense it differently. Its image changes depending on the person. Most people see it as a web, roots, or liquid, or something valuable to them. Since influence is not a physical thing, you must train your mind to contain it, build the walls and keep it safe.
Sort of. It can be a representation of a physical thing.
It's complicated, trust me, but it's more like using the actual concept of influence itself.
It's about to get real preachy in here.
As I was saying, we each have our own stronghold that is within the mental world. You could say influence is the line that connects the physical world to the mental world. Nobody knows where it comes from, like many other things. Perhaps it was always here. Some suggest that it came into reality once the first thinking mental consciousness evoked the all we inhabit. However, influence probably existed before the first mental realm came to be. But there's no way to know for sure. I think now would be a good time to mold your mind into a stronger palace to hold some influence.
You two continue on without me. Daddy Bones would cancel my visa if he knew I slipped into your mind. Catch you two later!
Ha ha ha!
Now take a deep breath and follow my voice. Good. We each have our own stronghold that is within the mental world. You could say influence is the line that connects the physical world to the mental world. It can do anything if you have enough of it. In your mind, imagine a well that goes on forever. No matter how much you fill it, it never fills up completely. You think you can measure it, but the moment you try, it escapes you. The answer, in simple terms, is when you know you have it. You must think of it filling up the well to measure it. Make sure you imagine a bottom to see how much you have. Contain the influence and measure it as you like. Most commonly, we measure it by our own interpretation. Very good. Now on to another related topic. Zoning is like a gauge that determines the amount of influence someone has. You send out a surrounding pulse around your core and receive information back that reinterprets how you measure that influence. A pulse is made as a sacrifice of influence. You can also gauge yourself and let yourself be known to others who have influence. Once you use influence, you send out a signal which can be detected by those who are zoning to detect influence for themselves. Some might avoid you or take the risk to obtain more influence. Let me elaborate how to use it and what it can do. When I say influence can do anything, it can do anything. But anything within a certain range. You have to will it to be. Want a wish granted, then it shall be done. A person resurrected? Someone killed? Done. Though it has limitless potential, it can be combated by itself. The rule of law in a quick take is like the rules placed in a large domain. Someone or something is already controlling that section of reality, so your influence is rendered null and void if it goes against the order of the world. Sense influence doesn't physically exist, you can't imagine more of it. It would only be fake influence if you did. Simulated influence has no effect on anywhere else but within the range it was made in. You can't take it with you outside the range it was made for, and it's inferior to the real influence. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. We covered a lot of ground today. Tomorrow I think we will discuss more about combat.